That's another one for the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan. Built Ford Tough, Offensive Line of the Year. Of course, this one goes to the Dallas Cowboys. They were the best performing offensive line all year. There were some good ones out there, don't get me wrong. Other teams with great offensive lines. The Raiders had a good offensive line. Tennessee had a good offensive line. Pittsburgh offensive line played real well the second half of the season. So there's other teams out there with really good offensive lines, but as far as the whole season, as far as having those rookies behind them and what that team was able to do, it was very impressive. So congratulations to those big boys down there in the trenches. You deserve some recognition. You got yourself some recognition. Congratulations. Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award goes to Frank Gore of the Indianapolis Colts. Frank Gore is always going to be the silent guy, the forgotten guy, I think. I do think Frank Gore eventually ends up in the Hall of Fame, but probably not on a first ballot type guy. He's going to be, again, one of those forgottens, even though his numbers are up there with the best ever. Congratulations, Frank Gore, on picking up that award last night at the awards show. The Salute to Service Award presented by the USAA goes to Dan Quinn of the Atlanta Falcons. Congratulations, Mr. Quinn. You're doing quite good for yourself. 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls you have been in as a coach. You were able to do great things there in Atlanta this year, and wish you guys all the best, especially for my good friend over at thedirtcannon.com, Jeremy Cunningham, who I know is a lifelong Atlanta Falcons fan. So he's reveling in this, I'm sure, as his birds, Dirty Birds, are in Super Bowl 51. So congratulations to them and Dan Quinn. Salute to Service Award. The Castrol Edge Clutch Performer of the Year Award goes to Oakland Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. I beg to differ. I think this should have been a Matthew Stafford Award all the way. Don't know how he doesn't get it with his 8 comeback fourth quarter wins on the season. But, you know, sometimes you go with who has the better record as opposed to really who put on the better performance. Derek Carr had some great come-from-behind wins. But I would have personally gone with Matthew Stafford. But congratulations, Derek Carr. Great season. Ended really rough there. Didn't really get to see what you and the Raiders were able to do in the playoffs after you went down injured there. AP Assistant Coach of the Year goes to Kyle Shanahan of the Atlanta Falcons. Can't really argue with that at all, as what he was able to do this year with that offense, with those weapons, was very impressive. Number 1 scoring offense on the season. So there you go. AP Assistant Coach of the Year goes to an offensive side. AP Coach of the Year, Jason Garrett, Dallas Cowboys. I don't know that he really did the best job of coaching this year, but you got to give it to somebody. And generally that goes to the coach whose team had the best regular season record. Cowboys were 14-2. Jason Garrett, Bill Belichick, who was also 14-2. Who do you go with? Well, you got to give it to the other guy, that right? So Jason Garrett gets that award, I think, almost by default. No knocking, just, that's my real opinion. AP Defensive Rookie of the Year only played in 12 games because him and his mama didn't like the contract he wanted to sign, and he needed the wording to be different. So who knows what he could have come up with had he played a whole season. But Mr. Joey Bosa, he comes in with 10.5 sacks, 45 tackles in those 12 games, and he gets AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. Great rookie season. Can't knock it. I didn't think he'd be able to pull it off. I thought he was a little slender. He didn't really hold up that well against the run. Where he made impact on the run was because he was shooting gaps and getting around the edge. So we'll have to see him develop as far as that goes. But he does show the never-ending quit of a pass rusher. So good pick there for the Chargers. Now if they can just get him and his mom to be happy, maybe they can get something going for the future after this rookie deal's up. Courtyard's Greatness on the Road Award, Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not really sure what that one goes to. Maybe just how they performed in road games this year, I guess. Didn't really see that one, but congratulations to Le'Veon Bell for picking that award up. AP Defensive Player of the Year, presented by Old Spice, goes to Khalil Mack of the Oakland Raiders. And you can't really argue with that. A lot of people would say, hey, what about Vaughn? Well, Vaughn kind of disappeared down the stretch a little bit. Teams were able to take him out of games. And again, at the end of the year, Khalil Mack was making some plays at the end of the year. He's quiet seven games a year where he doesn't do anything, and then he slowly starts doing it. And by the end of the season, where all the voters are paying attention, it's like, wow, I see his name all the time, Khalil Mack. Where Vaughn started off on fire and slowly faded out by the end of the year. So, hey, you go with the guy that you can remember, the guy whose name is on your mouth, and that's Khalil Mack of the Oakland Raiders, Defensive Player of the Year. All right, Pro Football Hall of Fame Class 2017. Now, I didn't think this was going to be possible. I didn't think they would put in 2 running backs in this class. I thought LaDainian Tomlinson was a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, and he was going to be in, which meant to me that Terrell Davis would not get in this year. However, Terrell Davis and LaDainian Tomlinson, 2 running backs, will be in this year. Morton Anderson, the league's all-time leading scorer, is in this year. Jason Taylor, top 5 all-time in sacks. Kenny Easley, who was a beast for the Seattle Seahawks. Owner Jerry Jones, and of course, Kurt Warner, who went from bagging groceries and playing arena football to being the greatest show on turf orchestrator. Great Hall of Fame class. Can't really argue with it. Jason Taylor, to me, he's more of a Hall of really good than a Hall of Fame, but you can't argue with his numbers and his longevity and the production he had over his entire career. You really can't. So congratulations to all of that class. Congratulations to Terrell Davis, by far one of the best running backs of all time. And had it not been for injury, we might have seen a running back with 2 2,000-yard seasons. We know what everybody else was able to do in that Denver Broncos run game. All the other running backs that were able to get 1,000 yards. He was averaging 1,500 yards. He had 1,800-yard seasons. He had 2,000-yard seasons. That's the difference between a special player and a player that you can plug into a system. They plugged in players for 1,000 yards. They didn't plug in players for 1,800 yards, for 2,000 yards, for 2,500 yards from scrimmage, 2,800 yards from scrimmage. Those guys didn't have the touchdown production that TD had. Okay? That's the difference in why TD deserves to be there. What he did in the playoffs is untouchable. Nobody has ever going to touch that. It's remarkable what he was able to accomplish in the playoffs. So I think TD's deserving. I wish his career wasn't cut short. He was a fun guy to watch. I thought Barry Sanders would kind of, hand over the reins to him as the best running back in the NFL as he went out there in the end of the 99 season. Right after that is when TD got hurt at the beginning of the 2000 season. And, we all know he wasn't able to come back after that. But amazing story there for Terrell Davis. Amazing story for Kurt Warner. LaDainian Tomlinson, probably one of the purest running backs I've ever seen, being able to just do anything and make it look like it's easy. Morton Anderson, I don't know why there's not more kickers and punters in the Hall of Fame. There's guys that are deserving. Jason Hansen is going to be deserving. Gary Anderson is deserving. So we'll see if that changes now that Morton's in. Kenny Easley, he was a beast. He played with Ronnie Lott at USC. They came out in the early 80s together. So congratulations to everybody. Looking forward to the Hall of Fame game and the Hall of Fame ceremony come August. The AP Comeback Player of the Year Award presented by McDonald's. No doubt about who this was. This man led the league in receiving touchdowns this year. Aaron Rodgers' favorite target, Jordy Nelson of the Green Bay Packers, wide receiver. Of course, he's the Comeback Player of the Year. Devastating knee injury a season ago, and then this season to come back, lead the league in touchdown receptions, and be able to just dominate again as a true number one receiver. It was fun to watch. It was good to see. And happy for Mr. Jordy Nelson. Yes, I'm a Lions fan, but I still game respect game, and the boy can play. Walter Payton Man of the Year Award presented by Nationwide goes to 2 guys this year. I don't know if that's been done before, but 2 guys, Eli Manning and Larry Fitzgerald, pull this award this season. 2 good guys. You hear about all the good they do in their communities. You know about Larry Fitzgerald and the University of Phoenix and what he's doing there with scholarships. You know about the Manning passing camp and all the stuff they do down there in Louisiana. So, and I'm sure around the New York area as well. Two good guys, very deserving. Congratulations to them. And that's an award you want to win. Walter Payton was a great guy. He's a great, he touched people's hearts and did a lot of good. And that's something that all of these guys should be aspiring to try and achieve every season. And, Anquan Bolden, he didn't win it as a Lion, but he was a Lion as he was the ambassador of it. And now he passes it on to two more worthy people right there. And that's just good to see the guys giving back. It's one of the best parts of sports, I think. The Bridgestone Performance Play of the Year goes to Buccaneers wideout Mike Evans for his one-handed catch against the Falcons. Can't deny it. It was a great catch. Had to pick some play. That was a big play. So congratulations there to Mike Evans for being recognized for his athleticism. And the AP Most Valuable Player of the Year goes to Matty Ice. He put on the offensive performance. He won the other awards. He gets your AP MVP of the year. And he knew it came down to him. It came down to Tom Brady. Who was it going to be out of those two? One of them played a full 16 games. One of them only played 12 games. One walks away the MVP. They both meet tonight in Super Bowl 51. And that leads us into it. Let's break it down. I'm going to give my pick. I'm going to let you guys get out of here soon. We're going to enjoy the game, enjoy the festivities. I've been watching coverage since 8 a.m. local time here in Denver, Colorado. I'm watching coverage right now while I do the show. I'm going to watch coverage after this. We're going to get the party going later. We got the drinks going. We got the food going. We're going to have the big subs. We're going to have meatballs and chips and dips. And hallelujah, everything's going to be good. It is Super Bowl Sunday, number 51 coming at you with the Patriots and the Falcons starting around 6:30 Eastern Time. Well, really, we know that means kickoff's going to be sometime between 4:45 and like 5:15 after they get through all the presentations and the introductions and the singing and the flags and the flyover and let the smoke clear a little bit from the fireworks and all that good stuff that's going to go into the beginning of the game. But tune in. Don't miss it. Tune in for the commercials if nothing else. Watch the Super Bowl commercials. Get yourself a drinking game. Enjoy yourself a Sunday. Call in tomorrow if you have to. I won't. I got to be into work. We got some big stuff going on. So if any of my bosses are out there listening right now, I will not be calling in tomorrow. I will be in there for the kids, running the technology and getting things straight. But all right, Super Bowl 51. Now in the championship games, I talked a lot about how matchups. I'm gonna stay away from matchups this conversation because of how I wasn't wrong about the matchups, but they didn't work out the way I saw them. Let's put it like that. Alternative facts we're going with. The matchups were there, but they didn't play out the way they actually played out completely opposite of what I thought. So in that aspect, I was completely wrong. So we're going to stay away from the matchups this week, and we're going to break it down a little different. The numbers that stick out to me for this game. Yes, the Atlanta Falcons are the number one scoring offense. Yes, the New England Patriots are the number one scoring defense. But the New England Patriots are the number 2 scoring offense, and the Falcons are not even in the top 10 of scoring defense. Game planning. You have great game planners on both sides. Bill Belichick, you gave him 2 weeks. Kyle Shanahan's going to come up with something. Dan Quinn, I'm definitely sure, was helping out the defense as he played against this same team just a couple seasons ago in that Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl. So he has some insight. He has some ideas. He knows how to attack some of these guys. But those numbers are what stick out. Scoring offense and scoring defense. The Patriots are up there in both. That means it's a harder uphill battle for the Atlanta Falcons. That gives the 3-point deficit you see the Patriots getting. Okay? That's them having the 3-point favorite. Game planning is going to be key. Whoever makes the fewest amount of mistakes.